Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, alright, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. Our brains in, our brains in, our brains in. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. Thanks so much for hanging out. Today we're doing something a little different. It's going to be me giving a show review. I flew out to LA last week for Rich Kids on LSD, RKL show that was last Sunday night at the Terragram Ballroom in LA. It was fucking awesome. I'm going to talk about that. And then I had a conversation with my friend Thom, who's been on the show a couple times. You guys all know him. And I'm going to play that conversation that I had with him last week. So it's going to be half me giving this RKL show review and my time in LA review, and then a conversation with Thom. But first, we do have a couple shows to announce, so keep these on your calendar. July 6th, it's a Saturday, Pie Shop in D.C., Diesel Boy. Yes, that Diesel Boy is back and touring. They will be playing with American Television, Over Our Eyes, and 40 Reps. That is an entire show made up of all headliners playing all together. It's going to be fucking rad. The Pie Shop only holds 100 people, so get your tickets. It will sell out. I say that a lot. And actually, lately I've been correct. But this one, there's no fucking doubt this show's going to sell out. So head over to pieshopdc.com to get your tickets, or head over to ourbrainshurt.com and click on the links. You could find, you guys know how to use Google. Get tickets. Diesel Boy, July 6th. And 2 weeks after that Diesel Boy show, we're hosting at Atlas Brewworks in D.C., the Dolly Rots. They are playing with Soraya and DC's very own Curse Words. That's Wednesday, July 24th. Get tickets for that as well. And coming up shortly after that, September 21st, save the date, Our Brains Hurt podcast is doing our own beer, an oatmeal coffee stout through True Vale Brewery in Haymarket, Virginia. The show and release party will be at the brewery in Haymarket, Virginia on September 21st. It's a Saturday. So save the date for that. More details to come as far as bands and time and all that good stuff. So also feel free to head over to ourbrainshurt.com and fill out your all-star punk rock band. You could go there, click on, you form your own band, singer, guitarist, bassist, second guitarist, drummer, whatever. Submit it. And one of these days we're going to run a contest and do something with that. Because as of right now, I think only 5 people have submitted it. So if we only get a few more, that's fine. We'll just maybe talk about the bands and how everybody else except for me is wrong. That's fine too. But go ahead. It's fun. All-star punk band, ourbrainshurt.com. All right. So last week, I flew out to LA. Rich Kids on LSD, RKL, got back together. New singer, obviously. Newish drummer. Dave Ron played drums for them back in the day, but obviously not the original drummer. Bomber and Jason Sears both passed away back in 05 and 06, within like a month of each other, I think. Never thought I'd have a chance to see RKL play. So, of course, when they announced that they were getting back together and playing shows in California, I fucking jumped on the chance because my brother's out in LA. So, I got a place to stay. I got to visit my niece and nephews, hang out with them, see RKL. Fucking awesome. So I fly out there on a Thursday. Flight was cool. Actually, it's funny because I was seeing a lot of things about the Boeing 737 MAX. I guess there's been like issues with the door opening mid-flight a couple times. And I actually was sitting my seat was right on the emergency exit door. Like literally I'm leaning up against the emergency exit door. They had to ask if I was willing to open the door in case of emergency before we took off. I was like, yeah, whatever. So the flight was fine, but as we were descending into LA, as we got maybe 10 minutes from landing at LAX, I started getting my leg was getting wet. I noticed all this water on my knee and my thigh. And I look and the fucking the emergency door is leaking. Like there was just water like pouring on my leg from outside of the plane, which was kind of, I never like wished for a plane to land so fast in my life. But so that was a little shaky. Luckily that was at the last 10 minutes of the flight. And we landed, and I never said anything. So hopefully somebody doesn't get sucked out because I didn't say anything. But whatever. I got there, and one of the things I wanted to do when I got to LA was you got to hit up Wiener Schnitzel. There's no Wiener Schnitzels out east. Especially now that I have a bomb-ass tattoo from Missy Blue. My Descendants tattoo with the Wiener Schnitzel added. So we go to Wiener Schnitzel like the first day I was there. And I see the sign, and it's, they're selling these hats for $10. And the hat just says, I love wieners. So it's like an eye, it has a heart with the Wiener Schnitzel logo in it, and then wieners. And I was like, I'm getting a hat for me and Missy because she's a Descendants fan. She would love this hat. So I ordered 2 hats, and they had just run out. Like the day before they sold out of the hats. So I was like, fuck. All right. So that just gave me another addition to my LA mission. I'm buying these fucking wiener hats. So I'm like, all right, the next couple days I'm going to drive around to different Wiener Schnitzels and find the fucking hats. Spoiler alert, I did that. There were no more hats. The day after I got back, all the Wiener Schnitzels were reloaded with I Love Wiener hats. So if anybody out there has an I Love Wiener hat or 2 that they want to send to me so I can give one to Missy as well, shout out Missy Blue, Bluebird Tattoo, Hanover, PA. Let me know. I'll pay double. I'll pay $20 for a fucking I Love Wiener hat. Speaking of Missy Blue and Bluebird Tattoo, Vicky, who also works up at Bluebird, is doing a promo right now. For $10, you could enter to get a tattoo from her, a raffle. She's doing a tattoo raffle. $10. Head over to her Instagram. Her Instagram handle is at Happy Camper Tattoos. Vicky is a phenomenal tattoo artist. She does like this really awesome like realism mashup. You can go to her. You'll see it all on her Instagram page. But head over to at Happy Camper Tattoos if you're on Instagram. And it's only $10. And if you win, you get an awesome Vicky tattoo for life. And if you lose, you donate $10 to an awesome artist. It's a win-win situation. So head over there and check it out. So after striking out at Wiener Schnitzel, well, it wasn't a total strikeout. I did have a Chicago dog, which is a hot dog with a pickle the size of the hot dog in the bun with tomato, onions, mustard. It's fucking delicious. And some other kind of pepper that they call sport pepper. I don't know what the fuck. It looked like little pepperoncinis, which I fucking hate because there's no spice to pepperoncinis. It's just messy and vinegary. This is the worst of the peppers, to be honest. Anyway, shout out Wiener Schnitzel. So we went to the beach a couple times in Malibu. Saw dolphins and pelicans and all sorts of cool shit, So the day of the show comes around on Sunday, and the show's at the Terragram Ballroom in downtown LA. I don't think I'd ever been to downtown LA before. My brother's been living in the Valley for the past few years, and he was in West Hollywood before then. So I used to definitely been all over like the beaches and Hollywood and the Valley, but I think this might have been my first time in downtown. It looks like downtown anywhere else. If you've been to downtown Baltimore, that's what downtown LA looks like. So the Terragram Ballroom, I guess I would compare it to maybe the Baltimore Soundstage, if you're from this area, or the 930 Club, if the 930 Club didn't have up like balcony seating. It was just the floor. That's kind of about how the size of the Terragram Ballroom. We get there and tons of people already. It was sold out. We got right in line for merch because I wanted to get some merch before they sold out. RKL had come up with these T-shirts that they were selling just on these 5 tour dates. They played the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th in LA, and they're playing out on the 25th out in Punk Rock Bowling in Vegas. 1st and 2nd were up in the San Francisco area. On the 3rd, they played Santa Barbara, and then the 5th was in LA. So basically, they made these T-shirts that they're only selling at these shows with all 5 of those dates on the back. So I was like, all right, we have to get there. This is the 4th of the 5 shows. They're probably already running out of stuff, so let's get merch. Even though I hate getting merch at first because you have to like walk around with either a bag or your pockets like fucking full of shit. So we get there and Matt, I know it was Matt's birthday this week, May 9th. Shout out, Matt Alive. Happy birthday. I knew I was going to get him a couple things because he also shares my love for RKL and all things RKL. I'm a 2X in t-shirts, which is awesome, but not awesome enough to get one because they were sold out of 2Xs. But I was able to get Matt a shirt. So Matt got a shirt to the show that I went to that I couldn't get a shirt for. So I strike out. I have no I Love Wiener hat and I have no fucking RKL t-shirt. But that's okay because I was there, so that's fine. I bought a hat and I bought a couple other things. I got my brother a shirt and I got myself a different shirt. So I'm walking around with these ginormous, like I'm wearing these shorts with like my pockets are like fucking ridiculous. And I wanted to get more stuff, but I wanted to get, they were selling show specific posters for each show. And it was the one for LA that was pretty awesome. You could find it online, the picture of it on all their social media and shit. And I asked them, there was a huge stack of these fucking things. And I didn't want to get one of those at first because I knew I was going to be going up front to watch RKL. And I didn't want to get something that could be bent or torn or whatever. So I asked the dude, I was like, you guys, you'll have plenty of these left over towards the end of the show, right? If I come back, he's like, oh, yeah. But they didn't. So strike three. But the first band was The Grim. They're from the Valley, actually from Woodland Hills, which is where my brother lives. 5-piece punk band, really, really cool. I met the guitarist, this huge dude. He's probably like close to 7 feet tall, ginormous. I met him at the end of the show at their merch table, and I have to hit him up because he said he would do the podcast. So I'm gonna hit him up. But they were really good. So look up The Grim, GRIM, really cool band. They opened. Cigar played second. Cigar is fucking phenomenal. I only learned about Cigar maybe earlier this year. I think it was when I bought tickets for this show, and Matt knows about all things punk rock because he is the punk rock Rain Man. Matt was telling me, he's like, dude, that band opening for RKL when you go, Cigar, check them out. They're fucking phenomenal. My brother heard them for the first time the day before the show because I played them for him. And right after the show, they became my brother's new favorite band, Cigar. That's how fucking good they are. Phenomenal. So check them out too. 3-piece. They put out a record on Fat, I think in 2022, 2023, something like that. Musically, the tightest band you'll ever see, and they're all aliens at their instrument. Vocals are amazing. Great band. So once Cigar was finished playing, that's when I told my brothers, like, look, I'm going to go up front for RKL because I can't not be up front for like my favorite few bands in the world, like Descendants, NoFX, RKL. I have to be up front. I don't care if I get trampled, whatever. But it's important when you go up front, you have to, when you're older, like I'm 46, you have to go all the way up front. Like you're either against the stage or you can't go up front because you can't be the one catching the people stage diving. They have to be going over your head. You know what I mean? It's like when you're at the beach and you want to swim out, you have to swim out past the waves. Otherwise it gets fucking gnarly. That's where I was. I was against the stage. I got to the front 5 seconds into the first song. All you do is push your way to the stage and then you're there. It was awesome. I was right in front of Tony Foresta, the new singer, and Lil Joe was like right there too. Chris Rest. Chris Rest looks just like the dude from, I don't know if you guys are into Game of Thrones. That actor. Remember that, like, I don't know what season it was where this guy came in, but he was like a super religious, like creepy priest guy. He's the one who made, what's her name, walk through the streets naked to shame her. Anyway, Chris Rest looks just like that dude. It's really weird. But anyway, the show was awesome. There was this one right before RKL started playing. I was standing and there's these two dudes talking to me. They were in this band called Cadaver Pudding, which is a really disgusting / awesome name for a punk band. And I think they just played with the Dickies this past weekend up in San Francisco. But I was talking to them, and I'm going to get them on the podcast as well. They were pretty cool. And RKL was fucking phenomenal. Tony Foresta is such a great frontman to plug into that band and to really keep the essence of what they had going in the past ongoing, if that makes sense. His presence on stage is fucking perfect, and the sound of his voice is perfect for RKL. So awesome job. Not that you need to hear it from me, but that was awesome pick for a vocalist for that band moving forward. And hopefully this isn't just like a 1 year thing where they're just, playing some show. Hopefully they maybe put out a record, and I'm sure they'll make it out east because Tony Municipal Waste, he's the singer for Municipal Waste. They're from Richmond, I believe. So I'm hoping that RKL will be out east, maybe in the fall or winter. But at one point, I guess it was like maybe the third or fourth song. I'm right against the stage, and this dude's like, all of a sudden, this like prosthetic leg flies over my head and lands on the stage. When you go to punk shows regularly, that's not really like, I mean, it's weird for a prosthetic leg to fly over your head and land in front of you on the stage, but it's not like punk rock weird. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, there's a leg on stage. Tony Foresta, the singer, picks up the prosthetic leg. This is mid-song still. He pours a beer into the prosthetic leg and chugs it. Fucking gross. Like, because there's like people put powders and shit. It's not just a fucking like hollow thing. There's gnarly shit in there. Like there's medicine in there, and there's probably sweat. And I mean, let's be honest. This is like a punk rocker who let that thing be thrown up on the stage. So you could probably assume from that he is not taking the greatest care of it. So who knows what the fuck's in that thing. Tony pours a beer in there and chugs the beer out of the fucking leg. Then he walks up and he hands me the leg. So now I'm holding this guy's leg for the rest of the song. And I have video of it on my social media, and you can see there's so much video and pics like all over the place. If you just Google like RKL Terrorgram Ballroom, you could probably pick me out from holding this prosthetic leg for half a song. So after the song is over, I don't know what to do with this leg. I just like place it in front of me on the stage. So now it's sitting there. And then I feel like a tap on my shoulder. I feel a tap on my shoulder. And I turn around and some dude's like, hey man, can I get my leg back? Which is like the funniest thing that anybody's ever asked me, ever. Like I hope, like nobody's ever asked me that question before, and I hope it's not the last time I'm ever asked that question. Like, and he said it so like, almost like, hey, can I have a cigarette? You know what I mean? Like, hey man, can I get my leg back? So I was like, oh, this is yours? And he's like, I think so. I'm missing one. So anyway, gave the dude his fucking leg back. And yeah, it was fucking rad, man. And then they were playing, they had their break where they came back, their fake, like, this is the end of the show. What the fuck's the encore, whatever. The song before the encore, I lost the hat that I was wearing because it started going, I forget what song it was. I stole a piece of a set list. I grabbed the set list as I was leaving, and it was like taped to the stage. So I only had like half of it, but I can't see I don't know what song was right before the encore, but I lost my hat, and I was like, I don't want to like bend over and look for it. I'm just going to buy a new fucking hat. So I split. So I left during the encore to go back to the merch table because I wanted to get tour posters. I wanted to get a couple of them, one for me, one for Matt. And I wanted to get a new hat because my hat's gone. It's, even if I found it would have been trampled on shitty floor, beer, whatever. So I go back to the merch booth, no fucking posters. I do get another hat, and I met the guitarist for the Grimm, who will be on the show hopefully soon. So yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was awesome to experience that just in general, but to have my brother there as well. He hadn't been to a punk show in a long time. He, like I said, like he's a huge cigar fan now. And RKL, it's seeing bands like that are so fucking tight at a club where the sound is awesome. There's nothing like it. So that was my show experience for RKL. The next day I went back to a couple Wiener Schnitzels to try to find these fucking hats. Sorry, Missy, you're not getting an I Love Wieners hat, at least not right now. They're all sold out. And then I flew back. I upgraded to first class on the way home because I didn't want to sit among the riffraff. I mean, I am the textbook definition of riffraff, but this doesn't mean I want to be around the rest of them. So the flight home was nice, so even though it was a red eye and I can't sleep on planes, which got a little annoying. But yeah, so that was my LA RKL experience. My brother Scott is moving out here in a month, back to Maryland with his family, his wife and 3 kids. They will be in this area. I'm excited about that because we're going to take him to some shows and have a good time. It's going to be an awesome it's gonna be awesome having him back east. And I'm flying out to LA again with him in October to go see NoFX's final show. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, October 4, 5, 6 out in LA. We have tickets to the Saturday and Sunday show. So we'll probably fly out there on Friday the 4th, and we'll be at the show the 5th and the 6th for their last 2 shows. So yeah, so that was my LA experience. Yeah, it's always great to go out there. The view, the food, the bands. It's a cool place to visit. I wouldn't want to live there, but it's an awesome place to visit, man. So anyway, so that's my LA trip. Now I will get into the conversation that I had with Thom. Oh, also be sure to check out the Struggling Artist Record Club. Our good friend Trev runs that. It's an awesome club. It's awesome to get into. You're helping out a lot of people. And here is a message from Trev about the Struggling Artist Record Club. And then when we come back from that message, it'll be my conversation with Thom later.
Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
What up, sexy?
Oh, really?
What's going on? Where are you?
Downstairs.
Oh, I always forget about that bedroom you have down there.
You're getting ready to go on vacation, huh?
Tomorrow morning, yeah. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, the flight leaves, or 6 o'clock you have to leave the...
I leave at 6. The flight's at 8. And then I'm taking a red eye back on Monday night. So I'm leaving LA at like 10:30 at night on Monday, get in at like 6:30 on Tuesday.
It's so short.
What? Yeah, I know. I didn't have that much leave, but
What was the trip for?
Well, half to visit Scott, half to see RKL on Sunday.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember if this was the I knew you were going out for a concert, and I know Scott was out there, but I couldn't remember what was what. So
Yeah, RKL, man. I'm so fucking excited. I hit up Joe Raposa, the bass player.
yeah.
And I don't like asking to get backstage. I never ask for backstage. I never ask for like guest list or anything like that. I just because I think it's
Except for Bill Stevenson.
yeah. And so just because I feel like I've given Bill Stevenson so much money from just that weekend of recording that we did that I owe it to him to shake his hand every once in a while, or he owes it to me. But anyway, I hit up Joe Raposa. I was like, hey man, I'm flying out from DC to see you guys in LA. I'm super stoked. I was hoping he'd be like, awesome. Like, get there early and come back and say hi. But he just replied radical. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's all you can expect.
Yeah. But I might hit him up again on Friday or Saturday and just be like, if you have a minute, it'd be awesome to meet you in person, something like that. Why not? Fuck it.
Nice. What are you drinking? That looks delicious.
It's seltzer water and cranberry juice.
Really?
Yep.
How come?
Because I got drunk earlier today. I made chicken wings at like 12:30-ish, and I cracked a beer open while I was making them. And then my brother Mark sends me this text. He's like, hey, are you home? I'm like, yeah, he lives in Jersey. He just got back from Europe for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm driving on 424 right now, about to pass Lang Drive.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, come on over. And so he came over and we just got blasted. And I smoked 3 cigarettes, something I haven't done in like fucking 5 years.
Gross. Why
I'll tell you though, that first one was magical.
Really?
It felt like I was high as fuck for about 30 seconds. Then I wanted to kill myself.
Just it's fuck. I know you have clearance issues, but
Yeah.
that's funny. Oh God, yuck. That's awesome that Mark was there. That's gross that you were smoking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, there's nothing about it that makes me want to smoke like again. It's just like he had cigarettes, I was drinking, we were talking about family bullshit, and I was getting anxiety. I was like, give me one of those fucking things.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up with all the other episodes. What did I listen to recently? What was the last one that you? Oh, the Richie Ramone.
Richie.
Very good. Always good.
Yeah.
Richie always like it's so funny. It's like the older the punk rocker,
Yeah.
the longer the story.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah.
But they're so great.
I know.
Like
yeah.
you guys should just turn that episode over and just be like, it's not Matt and Ron, it's whoever that guest is.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what we tell him too. It's like, because at one point he's like, am I talking too much?
I remember that. Yeah. And you're like,
no, this is your episode.
No. It's awesome. I mean, why else would you contact somebody like that if you didn't want to hear the stories that I was listening to one of the other ones too, and you were talking about who was it? You were talking to somebody about the Michael Graves concert that we went to.
Oh,
I can't remember who it was.
It might have been Travis about the coffee. How I originally met what's her Jen.
Yeah, at the show. Yeah. And it's funny because I bought a tour shirt from that concert when we went to see it. Remember, they weren't even supposed to be on that tour, so that date isn't even listed on the shirt.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it was Michael Graves, Nimvid, and it was Argyle.
Okay, yeah. Why was she there? That's really weird looking back on it. Like, yeah.
No idea, but I remember her and that other girl that had the same dual colored hair.
Yeah.
I think she went by like the dark artist or something like that.
Okay.
She was a tattoo artist too.
Okay.
Both girls we met at that show, they said they were there to see them, but I don't know why they would be all the way on the East Coast.
I mean, I know Jen's from Canada, so maybe she's friends with Nim Vind.
Oh, that makes sense then.
I'm assuming. I don't know why else she would be in fucking Dundalk of all places.
She must.
I can see if it was DC or something.
It was a weird spot too. I mean,
it was a really weird spot.
You were sick. Remember how bad you felt?
Oh my god, it was.
I was like, "Come on, let's go talk to me." You're like, "No, you."
Yeah.
I was like, "Drink a beer, you'll feel fine." I'm all right. Just leave me alone.
It's funny. I was packing, and I had this like that blowjob machine that I bought. I have only used it once, and it was horrible.
Are you talking about the one that you showed me that I asked you, and you're like, "Yeah, don't get it."
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give it to you if you want.
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't come, so it's not that.
You probably broke it with your girth.
Probably.
Man, I got the length, but the pencil. But you got the girth and the okay.
I got the tuna can.
Yeah, I still remember the day in the bathroom. We'll edit that one out though.
It's funny because I pulled the shirt up and it was just laying there. I was like, I need to throw this thing away.
Yeah, if it didn't work and it's terrible product, get rid of it.
Yeah, I know.
But you should.
I also bought like a bunch of lube to go with it, so I have like all this lube. I don't like fake. First of all, it was one speed and it wasn't fast.
But that's not how it was advertised, right?
No, it's not. And so maybe I wasn't, but I can't.
All right, let me take a look at it. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll mail it to you.
I was gonna say, if you don't see me for about 3 months afterwards, then you know that you didn't find the right setting. I was able to discover a secret.
Or it ate your penis off and you're too embarrassed to tell it.
It started with my penis and decided to devour the rest of my body.
Are there supposed to be razor blades in this thing? I don't understand.
Remember the movie Teeth? Oh, terrible. Oh, speaking of movies, I watched one, was it last night? It's newer and it's in your vein. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called Late Night with the Devil.
No, Georgia told me about it. We were going to go see it actually when it came out. We never did. Is it good?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
The format that it was in, the way that they set it up so that it was like a 1970s talk show. But before you even started the movie, it was explaining how like the talk show got set up, and it was competition with, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm not going to give away the end, but it was like so-and-so was competing against with Letterman and everything else going on in the Times and everything that he went through. And then there was ups and downs and almost got canceled. But then this one night on Halloween, they decided to give it the final like,
yeah.
And you with your possession movies and like exorcism movies and stuff like that, I loved it. The ending came on real quick, but it was perfect. I loved the way that it was filmed, like with that grainy 1970s. The backdrop, everything, and that actor. Forgive me, I cannot remember how to pronounce his last name. Begins with a D. He was in last one I remember watching him in was The Last Voyage of the Demeter. which I was telling you about, the Dracula one.
Yeah.
And then he was in another big one where he was a client or a patient of a therapist. It was a big movie, and I can't remember, big horror movie.
Okay.
And he did really well. He's an awesome character because he has that creepiness, like he can switch like charming to like weird creepiness.
Right.
But it was really good, and it was an hour and a half. That's how horror movies should be. No longer than an hour and a half. Because after that, there's just like you're just putting filler in there, and it's just it drags out too long. They're like trying to tell stories and backstories and stuff like that, and it's like, but yeah, it was definitely really good. I'm trying to also watch.
Where'd you watch it on? What?
I think it's on Prime.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Prime right now, but yeah, it came up on my IMDb watch list, so I started watching that. Have you checked out what's the series based off the video game right now?
No, but Missy was talking to me about that.
I played it like once or twice, and I don't play video games.
Yeah.
But it was decent. And I love Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Craziest name for an actor.
He's fucking hilarious.
He is amazing. He has been in so many movies that you forgot about. Like just small parts until this came on, and he's playing the ghoul. And the entire thing is I watched a makeup thing that said that they got him down from I think 8 to 10 hours from the original makeup, the artist that was doing this, down to about 2 or 3 hours. And I mean, you have to put this thing back on, you have to cast, you have to rewrap, you have to paint, you have to do everything, and then the missing nose in the middle of it. I mean, and his just acting skills, just his southern gentleman personality in real life actually just carries through. I mean, he was in the Muddy Gemstones.
So great in that.
Yeah.
He was so and also in Vice Principals. Have you seen Vice Principals?
Yes, because that's what I saw first. Him and Danny, what's his name?
Yeah, Danny McBride. Like the two of them in that fucking show are perfect.
They're so good. Like they play the best character. He actually was in, I remember way back, Walton Goggins was in House of Thousand Corpses. He played one of the sheriffs that got killed.
Oh, okay.
Small role, just like he was in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. He was one of the guys that get killed.
Oh wow!
You never like paid that much attention until you know who he is. But I remember from way back in the day because I just loved his acting style and his just like his face, his character, everything about it is just like awesome.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and he's just he just carries that into this show too. So what is it called? Everybody's screaming.
Is it Doom?
Going like, no. Doom was old. That was Dwayne The Rock Johnson trying to cover that one. Out something.
Fallout.
Fallout. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the girl that was in there was in the Yellow Jackets series.
That's a good one. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, both seasons.
I saw the first season, and then I was waiting for Sophia to come home last summer to watch the second season. And we just never got into it, but I have to. You never got
to it, or you never got into it?
I never got to it. Oh. I loved the first season.
And see, there's what's her name? Mallory. No.
Oh yeah, her too, but my girl.
Yeah, and she was awesome in that too.
Yeah.
But so I'm definitely gonna get a photo op with
just
no.
Jennifer. I want to say Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's not Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh. Jennifer Love huge tits. Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, yeah.
And she's a musician. Have you ever checked out her band?
No.
Oh, she doesn't. I don't think they play anymore. Every once in a while, she jumps on stage with them when they have reunion shows. But she was in like this rock and roll garage, slightly punk band too.
Okay.
Just look up Juliette Lewis on Spotify, and they have some great songs where she's the vocalist.
Nice.
So yeah. Really,
I'm sad that I'm missing what's her name? Fucking
Rose McGowan. I thought you had that thing for her back in the day. What was it? I mean,
what was it? I'm not blind. That's what it was.
I was gonna say there's plenty of other people.
Jesus Christ, that ass, dude. Like, do you think that if I paid triple, they would let me like get a photo op of just me with my tongue on her asshole?
Actually, I heard that's possible.
Is that an option?
Yeah, it's a secret. You have to actually email the promoter. Then he has
I'll do that.
Tongue on your asshole first to make sure it's okay.
He could do whatever he wants to my asshole if I get my tongue on her asshole.
Only if she's dressed in the prosthetic, like from Grindhouse, the machine.
I never saw that
Like,
actually.
brrr. You never saw that? I have it on DVD.
No.
If we can. Oh, I actually have a Blu-ray player still. So, yeah, I have it here at the house. It was pretty good,
Yeah, she has a sex tape that leaked.
really. But
Rose McGowan.
before you get into that, what else was she in? Okay, I know Scream, I know the Grindhouse movie, and I know Stupid Thing My Sister Loved. Shout out to Carla.
What stupid thing she likes?
That witchcraft thing that was back in the day. That series.
Oh, I still watch that one, but I only watch the ones with Rose in it because she took over for
The other one that nobody cares about.
no, the other one that everybody she has like cancer now. She's dying.
Alyssa.
No, I fucking can't stand her. Alyssa Milano.
Why is that?
I hate her politics.
Oh,
She annoys the shit out of me.
You guys get too involved in what people get into.
I would still lick her butthole, but I would do it with a
Samantha.
I would. What the fuck's her name? The girl from 90210. The brunette from 90210 was in. God, this is what happens when two 40-year-old idiots get together. It's just come listen to Ron and Tom try to remember people's names.
I remember back in the day when we used to have to walk 15 miles, but I can't remember the name of the girl. I just saw two.
I have no idea what they were talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about. Brenda from 90210. But I know who you mean. That was Carla's favorite show. Was that Witches?
It's a great show.
What was the Witches show? You're saying that was a great show?
Yeah, I still watch it. It's on every morning on TNT.
It's like
TNT,
watching,
TNT.
Oh God, I can't.
But I only watch if it's not a Rose McGowan. If it's not one of her seasons, I'll just turn it off. But if Rose McGowan,
but do you like it because you think she's a good actor, or you like it because you like watching her? Because she's not nude, so it's like
she doesn't have to. She is one of those very few people. She could be dressed like a fucking Amish woman, and she's still super sexy.
You got that? I think it's the eye thing. I don't know what it is.
What she has an eye thing?
I thought her eyes were a little bit more like prominent, like bulgy. No?
Yes, you're right. Same with Christina Ricci.
And Dave Foley, when you had a crush.
Dave Foley when he's a chick.
No, you didn't need to have him be a chick.
I don't. I just say it to make it sound a little less homosexual, but
what was his name from Green Day too? You had a thing for him.
I didn't have a thing for him.
You did.
The bass player?
No, the singer.
Oh, Billy Joe. You know, he does have those eyes though too.
He is like really excited about something for a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
It's not gay if you have sex with another dude because of his eyes.
I was gonna say nobody's calling anything these days.
Yeah. And if you don't come.
Well, if you do, it's just like, oops.
It's only gay if you come.
It's just like a little accident.
What the fuck is that show called? Now that's pissing me off.
Charmed.
Charmed.
Just came to me. I have no idea why. I looked over at a picture of Psycho. And it just reminded me because it's Janet Leigh with her bra and her bazongas.
I will say this about Alyssa Milano. One of the hottest non-porn movies of all time is
Kiss of the Vampire.
No, is she in that?
She was in a vampire movie where she did a lesbian scene and her boobies were hanging out.
There's a part 2 to a famous movie. See, this is
this is absolutely terrible. I can't even think of an Alyssa Milano movie that was like. Well, I always thought she was.
It's basically softcore porn.
Is it the one I was telling you about, where she's like sitting there with a girl and she's like laying against the wall? And this girl's like kissing her boobs, and it's like Tia Carrere from Wayne's World.
Maybe Poison Ivy 2.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Is she in there though too? Remember Tia Carrere? She was the.
She's not in this one. So, so that's another movie you're thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, it's like vampire or something or other, but.
Because what was the original Poison Ivy? Who was in that?
It was that weird. I think it was Tom Skerritt. Wasn't he in their first one?
Yeah, but it was Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tom Skerritt. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, didn't he get like accused of being like a pedophile or something?
Yeah.
Dude from.
But this one, and you know how good it is because it's direct to video. Poison Ivy 2, Lily.
Everything back in the day was direct to video. Now it's all streaming. So I mean, what does it matter? How many of Matt's movies right now are available to watch? Do you know?
I don't think any of them are yet.
So
one of them will be in July.
Which one? Chum? Isn't Chum available? And
Is it? Maybe it is.
I know. I looked a lot of them up to see if they were available to rent. Nothing said right now. And then you also had the the Film Trash Productions.
Oh yeah.
So like that has anything with like Mouse and everybody else on that too. And
so they just finished filming Fur, which should be out in July.
so they finished. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you been watching the clips? I'm sure with Matt on all the time. It's like it was so funny because up until about we're gonna say 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had no idea that the plot of that movie was an animatronic bear.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm watching the clips and the trailers and everything like that. I was like, this is the fucking worst bear attack I've ever seen in my life. And then they said, like, I was listening to the interview that you guys had on there, and he's like, yeah, everybody was like, oh, bad timing with the animatronic bear thing. And I was like, oh,
that's like they're not even trying. What the fuck?
I was like, they might as well. They just basically got somebody in a 1970s bear costume to come out here because there was. You guys were talking about best bear attack scenes.
Oh yeah,
in a movie.
What's yours?
There was a movie that scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid, and we were in Deep Creek Lake, a cabin in the woods before my parents bought the place. Back when I was like maybe. I want to say
before the townhouse.
Oh yeah, we used to go to this place. We had been going to Deep Creek Lake since I was probably about, let's see, at least in middle school.
Oh, so like even before I met you.
Oh yeah.
Were you in Jersey when you were going to Deep Creek?
No. You got to remember, I moved.
Because you lived in Crofton, then you moved back. Grade. Yeah. Okay.
Born in Pennsylvania, moved to Crofton in 3rd grade. I started 3rd grade there. Went all the way through to 7th grade, Jersey in 8th grade, came back to Crofton again in 9th. And then,
you only gone for 1 year?
Yeah.
Between. Okay.
I mean, my parents were up there before me. We went to this place. We used to go to this place called the Brawleys out there. And it was, you go down past, everything in the commuting area, but it was just off the side. And when you went back there, it was just this dirt road. That's what I told you that whole thing about, like, I had a personal bear attack.
You did?
Yes. With my father and my sister. And
it attacked you or you saw a bear?
Listen. All right, here we go. Real quick.
Go for it.
I'll sum this up. So this is how fucked up my family is. So one day we go to this place all the time and I love nature. So in the morning I'd get up and my parents would be like stake around in the yard and go hang out. And I'd go look for like little like different kinds of lichens, moss, whatever plants, trying to see if I could.
How old are you at this point?
I would say maybe, 6th grade, 7th grade.
Okay.
Maybe. I might be pushing on it. I can't remember how that far back. But I just loved being it was submerged in the woods. It was, when I say cabin, it was a really nice little place, outdated as hell, but it was secure. It was like secluded away from everything else.
And you always went to the same place every time?
Yeah.
That same cabin? Okay.
Yep. They had a nice fireplace in the family room that you could build up. You went, the kitchen was downstairs, a deck out back that was just like woods. Actually, the funniest thing about it was like, do you remember one of my favorite movies is Tom Savini's remake of Night of the Living Dead in 1990?
I don't think I saw that.
It had a lot of people in there. Candyman was in that. He was the role. Tony Todd.
Yeah.
And when you walked out the back door off the deck, it looked just like walking out the back door of the remake, where they're like pushing the body out the back, and there's zombies coming out through the woods, and it's dark. There's only this little tiny bulb porch light.
Yeah.
You walk back in, you're in the kitchen. Everything's, like I said, dated as hell. The room downstairs had a water bed, a like
nice
queen size water bed.
Hell yeah.
Then you go upstairs, and there was a big area, bedrooms, this and that, everything. And I just remember parents were sleeping, everybody was sleeping. We'd go out there, they'd go skiing, then we'd come back. And I was outside hanging out. And one morning, my dad's like, hey, you and your sister and me, he was pissed at my mom for something.
Yeah.
He said, let's just go for a walk. And he's trying to like talk to me about, why he was angry with my mom and this.
Yeah.
And we're walking down this gravel road around because it was a circle. And we're looking up and everybody sees this big brown lump at the end of the thing. And we're like, nah, nobody's saying what they think it is. They're just, we all know. Next thing I know, this thing jumps up, starts running towards us.
Holy shit.
I fucking turn around. My dad and my sister are gone down the road. I'm like, so I start booking it. My dad's like, run, Tommy. Like, run. Even though the movie hadn't come out. This is a long time. So we get to a certain spot, but I couldn't believe that my father left me. And
Just split.
he's like, I'll save the younger one. The older one, we can retrain this one down here. And we turn around and we look at one point, and what happened was it was a mom bear or a big bear, brown bear, that was sleeping in the middle of a bend, and a car came around slowly and woke it up. It had nowhere else to run, but that way it started coming towards us. So the first thing we thought about was, bear attack. But I never let him live that down. He's like, no, I did. No, I did. I would never.
That's so funny.
You guys are like owls eating nuts in the street. And so I said, so what was it? 2 nights later, this is back when you had to rent movies at the video store, and the place there didn't quite have the movies that you would have normally.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, we got a movie for you guys. And they wouldn't tell us what it was. They let us pick out a movie. It was some little kids movie. And we get back to the house, and they're like, we got one. And they pop it in the VCR. It's a fucking movie called Grizzly. And I was
Grizzly?
like, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's about a grizzly in a park that goes rogue, gets a taste for human blood. And we're in this place where there's no lights, outside. There's no, you can't flip a switch besides this little light bulb hanging out the back, like I was talking about.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, all right, go to bed. And this is back in the day when those movies were like, they're R-rated movies, but they're only rated PG.
Yeah.
So you watch it and there's like mauling. Like, I think Poltergeist was like PG. If you go back and watch the original Poltergeist, there's nothing gory in it or gross, but it'll fuck a kid up.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it should have been at least PG-13.
Yeah, back then, if there were no, if it was no gore or titties, it was always like PG.
No, and I don't think there was any of that. Do you remember that?
In Poltergeist?
Yeah.
There was no nudity in Poltergeist.
They smoked in the beginning when the kids went to sleep, so there was marijuana use back then.
Unless there was like the scene where she's like in the pool.
And there was nothing nude in the pool, and there was no gore. There was just the skeletons came out of the...
You know those are real skeletons?
I know, I read that. Who are you talking to? Come on. And then I'm wearing you even see what this stupid shirt is?
What is it?
It's, did you ever watch Return of the Living Dead?
Yes, that's awesome.
This came out in Halloween about 4 years ago.
Hell yeah.
They took Tarman's face, and they put it on a pumpkin. And they made the shirt orange, and they're like, Happy Halloween. I was like, they just utilized that Tarman.
That's so funny.
Everything. I actually have I have a small print of Natural Born, not Natural Killers, of Return of the Living Dead up there next to.
Nice.
Do you remember that? Living at Jay's, basically.
What, Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
I was never a fan of that movie.
Why?
I don't know. I thought it was so overrated.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't watched it in decades. I should probably give it another chance. But
if you go back now and watch it, I think you'd really appreciate it.
Still, one of the funniest lines of any movie ever is from that movie.
Are you talking about in the beginning of the scene, where he's talking about Madonna?
No, but that's. Okay. I'm talking about when they would give out the names.
Why do I have to be Mr. Pink?
Why do I have to be Mr. Pink? Because you're a faggot. That's what.
One of my favorites, though. That second to that in that movie, where what's his name, the big guy that was planning the whole thing. He's like, I got Donna's big dick in my one ear, and I've got, and he's like talking, because they're like a virgin is talking about when she got fucked for the first time, and then they're talking about something they get to the other side. He's like, will you shut the fuck up? He's like, I hear Madonna's big dick in one ear, and then there was like, and as a Madonna fan, I thought you would appreciate that one too.
Yeah. Oh man, fucking Madonna. What's your favorite cereal? We've been asking that question to people lately.
Yeah, that's weird because I've been going up and down the cereal aisle trying to find something different for my boys that's not junk 100%. Now I got them. Okay, deviate just for a second because I haven't given you mine. But I brought in Kicks one day thinking that they might like Kicks.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day it was fun. It would float. If there was a hole in one, I'd try to push it down into the milk.
Yeah.
I always had competition with my cereal. Chex Mix, any of those things. They all had to try to float until I pushed those motherfuckers down until they couldn't breathe anymore. And
sign of a serial killer.
And,
no pun intended, cereal.
Oh.
Hey.
And then the other one that they had for the same price, I think, because it's always got to be about bargains these days. Was Golden Grams, and they put the Golden Grams in a retro thing Do you remember
Yeah.
Golden Grams? I mean, it's graham crackers basically.
I didn't like Golden Grams. They were like the poor man's life.
And speaking of which, you guys kept quoting that what's it called? Quaker Oat Squares. I don't know
So
where
good.
the fuck you guys shop that you can find this. I've looked in 3 different grocery stores to find this lately, and all I found is Quaker Granola Crunch.
Yeah, I've done the same. I've been looking.
I think it's done.
I think it must be because I've been in 3 different stores a few times, and there's like you said that the only Quaker cereal on the shelves now are the Granola Crunch ones, and there's no
And I remember what you guys talked about because I love that stuff. It was
oh, it was so good, just like as a snack, just like they were so good.
no, I do that with all my cereal lately though too. I mean, like any little fiber in my diet, I grab a Raisin Bran from work and just eat
Yeah,
it. Same thing with Cheerios. I mean, but those were same thing with mini wheats and all that other crap. But I
like mini
cannot
wheats.
find them anywhere. I wonder. You can probably just go on Amazon and find that stuff
Probably.
these days.
Yeah,
Everything's
but
there.
yeah,
But favorite cereal for myself,
yeah.
man, these days, I I have to say I walked one day like 3 miles to buy a box of Fruity Pebbles because I was
Fuck yeah,
craving it so bad. That shit is one of the best
it's crack in a box.
ever made. Like
Yeah, it's not. It's like Fruity Pebbles, and then 8 miles down is the second best cereal, whatever that is.
no, it's yeah. But you are 100% correct that there has to be a method to eating that because it gets soggy like that.
Oh no, it's a job. It's a job. You got to keep moving. You're constantly moving with the Fruity Pebbles.
Surface area,
Rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I told Xavier that, my son, he was just like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "That's too much work. I can't do that. Just give me a little bit of support in my mouth and eat it."
And it's healthy. It's Fruity Pebbles. You got to get your dose of fruit in there.
I think I don't eat that much cereal because normally by the time I get to work, and
Yeah.
I've never been one of those people that can eat cereal for dinner. I don't understand it. Like to me, it has to be eaten in the morning or has to be eaten dry as a snack. That's me. That I know that I'm in the rare opinion for that, but I'm nostalgic for so many old ones.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you mentioned on a post on like social media about like best Batman was Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when the original Batman cereal came out?
Yes.
For that movie, there were just those little bat shaped things, and they came in. I would devour the hell out of that.
Yeah.
That and
that was a thing when we were kids in the 80s. It was like a kids movie always had like a cereal that came out with it.
And it didn't necessarily have to have marshmallows in it, and didn't.
No, it usually tasted like shit. It was just sugary shaped of whatever the movie was.
Exactly. And you were like, you gotta have that.
Yeah.
But do you remember there was one also called Crispy Critters?
I don't know if I remember that. Crispy Critters.
It was almost like animal crackers, but in that same kind of form.
Yeah.
And there was if you go back, you can find this on YouTube. There was I'm going to do it for you real quick.
Yeah.
The song. The advertising song went, "Oh, it's just crispy critters, the good wholesome bunch, the low sugar cereal that's fondue crunch. They're indubitably delicious." And
that sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar to me.
And the other thing that used the exact same model of the exact same cereal, they just changed the shapes into these little stupid smiling faces, like you see those those French fries that are smiley.
Yep.
It was called the Funny Pages. Do you remember that one?
No.
So it was a cereal that it was a little smiley faces, just like the Batman cereal in the same form, but just not the same form, the same whatever. And when you got the box, you opened it, and there was like an extra page on the front, and it was like Family Circus. It was Garfield.
Oh,
it was
sweet.
like reading, and it was great for the first day.
Yeah.
You just read that, and then you had like 10 days, 15 days worth of cereal left, and you're like, I fucking read this. Like, why would you do this to me? At least make like a couple of pages that like day one, you rip out one, and you take C. They should bring that back though.
I'm sure people collect cereals and have those are some you can get those somewhere.
I mean, look at the Count cereals, the Count Chocula, the Frankenberry. I actually won the contest entered with the kids last year to win these like handmade little figurines
Nice.
They got shipped to my house, so I got a blueberry. No, they fucked that up. They changed it too. They threw in a different guy. They threw in the Brute Wolf, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was supposed to be the Count Chocula Frankenberry. Was originally Fruity Mummy Yummy, and then Blueberry.
Blueberry, yeah.
Yeah, but then they took the mummy away and they put in this fruit brute, son of a bitch. This like werewolf that came in.
Yeah.
Werewolves don't eat fruit.
I know. What the fuck? All right. I'm gonna name one book, one TV show, one movie, and one album. If you had to go the rest of your life with one book, one TV show, one movie, and one album. And you're a reader, so that's probably hard for you. I've only read like 4 books.
Yeah, but the majority of my stuff is Stephen King and Clive Barker, so it's all like fantasy. It's so weird and it's so
What's your favorite Stephen King book?
Favorite Stephen? Honestly, I have to go with Pet Sematary.
Okay.
Pet Sematary and Cujo were the two. It's something about the animals. Like,
yeah.
What I really liked about Pet Sematary, the book itself, was just the fact of like being able to turn something back again, but it's not coming back quite right. It's not like you're having the what you put in the ground. And I loved it, and I love the original version of the movie, the adaptation. I think it was one of the best ones.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't care what Stephen King says about the Stanley Kubrick Shining adaptation. I think Jack Nicholson in that one too. Sorry, I'm delving into film again, but
no, it's cool.
Yeah, it was. I think that was awesome. But there's also a special place in my heart because I guess I was a preteen, maybe in Boy Scouts, reading for the first time Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, that's actually one of the that's the first book I ever read.
Yeah,
that I didn't have to read.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that I read it in like 2 days.
Yeah, it was just the way that he wrote it and the way that he threw in a couple of curse words to emphasize the point on like what the guy was feeling, what he was talking about. Movie. I mean, I think you and me both have the same feeling with at least Nightmare for Christmas nostalgic value. Yeah. The way that they came across with that was pretty new and everything. Album. Good God. There's so many things to think about when it comes to that.
I know.
Yeah. What was yours? Curious.
So let's see. For book, I was kind of hung up between The Shining and Misery.
Yeah, I love how you did Misery the book.
Oh yeah. I had to make sure it was true to the book.
Just like we were talking about with Little Shop of Horrors, making a big difference between screen and the actual thing. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. I think I picked Misery. But that might have just been because I had just gotten the tattoo. But I might have. The Shining was the only book I've ever read where it was actually so scary that I had to stop reading it at some points and like wait.
Really?
Yeah, I remember being at home alone and reading it. I'm like, I need to put this down for a night. TV show for me is always Sanford and Son. I don't even have to think about that.
That's always been a thing.
There's no funny. And then I think I said My Brain Hurts for album Screeching Weasel.
Yeah, you did. Man, that
Jawbreaker You record is really, really fucking good too.
See, I would never back in the day pictured you being a Jawbreaker like fan.
Yeah, I wasn't back in the day. This was kind of like a new thing for me.
So, have you guys ever listened with Jawbreaker? I would always assume them with Sam I Am too. Like, do you listen to Sam I Am?
I don't, but I know like Matt loves them, and everybody who we have on the show loves them.
Yeah, something about them just reminds me about. And something about that also reminds me about going back to Blank. You remember Blank?
Oh, yeah.
So cool. I was just talking to somebody about them, too, because that last album that Blank put out before breaking up on Reptilian Records is
so good.
Like, oh, my God.
Every song on that record is fucking amazing.
So you liked it, too. I didn't think you really got it.
Oh, yeah. I loved Blank. I went to the reunion show a few years back at the Auto Bar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When was that?
Yeah, that was a little while ago.
Yeah, that must have been like, I think that was 2010 to 2015, somewhere around there, maybe. I don't know. But I remember I was there. I think I went with Dylan, and I remember Adria was there. I mean, everybody from fucking back in the day was there.
Right. That would have been.
You might have been in Deep Creek still.
I remember when it came up, but yeah, I knew I couldn't couldn't make it
Yeah.
out there because I wasn't anywhere around.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck. Have
Yeah.
fun.
We'll hang out next weekend. We'll hang out.